podcast party. Descent into Avernus.
My name is Hylan. My friends and I are in the sewer tunnels beneath Vanthamper Villa, fighting to stop a plot to drag the city of Baldur's Gate into hell. We rescued a prisoner named Falaster Fisk, who infiltrated the villa hoping to find an infernal puzzle box for his boss, Silvira Savicus. Falaster says that one of the people behind the infernal plot is a holy man named Thavius Kreeg, the High Overseer of Elturel. Now, Falaster has led us right to the door of the Vanthamper Vault.
Mr. Fisk, do you know anything about what defenses might be in place at this vault?
I do not. I was not able to enter. I know that it contains perhaps this puzzle box that I was looking for, and perhaps other secrets that Thavius, and he sort of glances quickly at Reya, who grimaces, and of course Duke Thalamra were hiding.
I'd like to take a quick look down there. It's all right.
By the door?
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll just step out into this intersection, and I remove my dreidel from my pack, and I spin it. Divine sense.
The first thing is that, like other places that you have been, you just seem to stumble into these desecrated areas, or in this case, consecrated areas. Because desecration simply means that areas that were consecrated to a deity have been ruined. This area is consecrated, but not to any god of good. It is consecrated to fiendish sources. That said, it's an important note that it only says the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover.
Correct, yeah. I was mainly interested if there might be imps right here in front of this door, and then
Fair
I would
enough.
know they would. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't detect any of those.
Okay.
Corbin, does anything on that door look magical?
I could spend a few minutes, but I'd have to pray for like 10 to determine that. Do we have 10 minutes?
I don't see why we don't.
Yeah, I feel like this door might have some wards on it.
Yeah. Let's just keep watch while he's doing that.
All right, so Corbin will get fairly close to the door, and he will ritually cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Let me just determine who is standing where. It looks like, Hylan, you're standing furthest to the west. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. It's an 11.
Okay. Just on the edge of your vision, you see two silhouettes that seem to come out of a tunnel about 70 or so feet from the west. And they hold sort of strange green glowing lanterns. And they seem to be sort of undulating them, moving them back and forth.
I quickly gesture that we should all quickly run north.
Yeah.
And once we've done that, Matt, is there a door immediately to my left?
That is correct. There is, in fact, a door to your west.
Assuming they're still coming behind us, I'm just going to push this door open.
What about Corbin?
Corbin
I
was
assumed
still
I assumed
concentrating
he
on his detect magic. That was about 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Unless someone stops me, I'm going to keep going.
All right.
I would have slapped him on the shoulder before running up.
Okay, I can walk while I work on it, though, right?
Yes, but you cannot perform any other action.
That's okay. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
I'll just quietly walk with the crowd.
All right.
And I do want to try to get into this room if I can.
The door is unlocked and opens to your touch. Inside this room, you see that there are 4 wooden wardrobes standing across from you against the wall. You see that they're closed. The room itself is rather tidy, actually, compared to the cobblestoned area of filth that you've been in thus far. And you also see that there is a door to the north in this room as well.
Got it. Well, seeing that it does seem empty, I gesture quietly for everyone to quickly come in and then we can shut the door behind us.
Ofelia runs into the room.
Reya, Satir, and Falaster follow.
And once everyone's in, I close the door as quietly as I can.
Okay. The door closes behind you. You're all in the room now.
Wardrobes.
I'm going to listen to the wardrobe that I'm standing right in front of on the southern wall.
Okay, make a quick perception check.
It's a 6. How could I get a 6? I guess I just put my ear so close to it that I muffle my own hearing.
Yeah, it's like, when you put your hand over your ear so hard and like all you hear is just like
Yep.
Yeah.
What does that wardrobe sound like?
I'm just like, nothing.
Why is she listening to a wardrobe?
I'm sure she has her reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Ophelia will also listen. Taking Hylan's lead, will listen at the northernmost wardrobe that she is standing next to.
I will choose a wardrobe that's not being listened to and just open it.
Can we name this episode Listening to Wardrobes? Because I think that might actually be the most confusing for all of our listeners.
Talk to me, wardrobe. Tell me your secret.
Well, Ophelia rolled a 3 in perception.
Wow.
So
just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, Ophelia
she was doing it just like Hylan. She just also smushed her ear right on the wardrobe because she thought that was the best way to listen.
I think she was trying to listen, and then Renascence was just sarcastically talking right next to her.
That's probably it was distracting.
I pick a wardrobe that's not being listened to and just open it.
Okay. There is nothing inside.
Seeing this, Ophelia will open the wardrobe that she was just listening to.
There is nothing inside that one.
I'm not opening anything.
I will open the other 2 wardrobes.
This wardrobe is just right. Is my detect magic going yet?
Yes, it is.
Anything in this room?
Nothing. Except for, of course, the magical items that you guys have found thus far. The southernmost wardrobe, however, when you open it, you find that there are 4 sets of black robes and 4 golden devil masks.
Oh, we should definitely take these.
Yes.
Yeah. I pass out a devil mask to... Oh, there's a lot more than 4 of us, though.
I don't want to do that Chewbacca thing again.
Come on.
No. We're certainly...
I didn't like it.
Two of these people were meant to be prisoners, so perhaps they could still be posing as prisoners that we are escorting if it comes into play.
Falaster says, I think there is a slight error in your logic there. I was already prisoned. Therefore, why would I be out of my cell? As well as this lady here.
We're escorting you. You don't know how to do the prisoner thing where you pretend like you're prisoners of us?
Why would I be escorted out of my cell only to go back to my cell?
Maybe to be sacrificed. I don't know.
Something of that sort.
I'll be honest, I have mapped this area pretty well. No other torture chambers on this level.
Would you like to be one of the robed figures? And you could pretend that I am the prisoner?
That works. That works, yes.
Why is this guy deciding?
Yeah.
We're deciding. I mean, no offense, Ren, but you kind of could pass for one of them. You know what I mean?
No offense taken. I put the gold mask on, and I put some robes on as well.
Who else?
Well, Ophelia's pretty good at performing.
So you think I should be one of the cultists or one of the prisoners? I can perform as either.
Cultist.
Okay. Sorry, I guess you've been overruled, Mr. Fisk. And she will put on the mask and the robe.
Reya, you want one too? And you could pretend Falaster there's your prisoner. That, pretty easy acting there, right?
Reya looks at the mask and looks at the robe and says, I don't think I would ever touch that thing in 1,000 years.
It's pretending, you're faking it.
I know what that is, Mr. Shiv. I politely decline.
I'm not Mr. I'm Painbearer.
All right. Mr. Fisk, if you would like to put that on.
Fine by me.
Hylan, would you like one?
I was just thinking that I don't have to have any weapons on me. Maybe I'd be better as a prisoner.
All right. How about you, madam?
I wouldn't wear that thing in 1,000,000 years. Are you kidding me? It's so gauche.
Fine, I'll wear it. Corbin will put it on.
All right.
So I've got Renascence, Falaster, Corbin, and Ofelia?
Ofelia, yeah.
Okay.
Can we listen and see if it sounds like they've passed by outside the corridor?
Good idea. Corbin will listen.
Perception check.
And give himself guidance. So Corbin rolled a 23 plus 4. That's a 27.
You put your ear to the door, and you do in fact hear the sound of footsteps coming towards the door, passing by the door, and then going off to the north.
Once they're out of earshot. All right, they're out of earshot. Let's go.
Yeah.
Check that door before my magic wears off.
Got it. So we're going to head back out to the vault door.
Okie dokie.
Corbin will look north to make sure they're not just standing there first and then head south.
Good call.
They're not.
Do I detect magic on the door?
Yeah, there is no magic on that door.
I'm detecting nothing. Hylan, you want to see if there's traps and if you could pick locks and whatnot?
Sure, I will see if it is trapped.
I'll give you good old-fashioned guidance.
Thanks. That's a 22 without the guidance.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, is it locked?
It is locked.
I'm a little nervous about this, but I'm going to try to pick the lock.
Okie dokie.
Guidance.
Maybe you should stand back. I don't know.
I step back.
Oh, yes. That's a 22.
Woof. Man. It looked a little sketchy there for a second, Hylan, and it probably was one of the harder locks that you've had to pick. And you felt the sweat come down off your brow. You were able to move the tumblers just the right way, and you hear...
I love that sound. I look at everyone as if to say, going in?
Yep, let's go. You want me to go first?
Yeah, why don't we both go in? I'll open the door.
Okay.
And in we go.
The first thing that you notice when you open this door and enter this room is that it contains 4 wooden tables with 2 small wooden coffers atop each one. Hanging on the wall opposite this door that you've just come through is a beautiful golden shield. Standing in front of this shield is an old man in plain garments carrying a lit candlestick. And as he turns to face the door, you see quite plainly that his shadow on the far wall doesn't match his form, but appears to be the shadow of a pudgy, horned creature with small wings. Turns to you, Hylan, says, yes?
What are you doing in here?
I might ask the same of you. Who are you?
Well, I asked first.
He chuckles and says, you may drop the ruse. If you were indeed a follower of the Lambras, you would know exactly who I am.
Everyone inside the vault. I step in.
Ofelia follows.
Do we know who this guy is?
Reya comes in and immediately, drops everything and says, Lord Kreeg!
No, it's not him. I put my arm out.
Okay, make an athletics check to stop her.
Okay. This is gonna be funny. That's a 7.
Oh boy. I feel like we've had this before. Maybe it was with Ofelia. Oh, she got a 10.
Okay.
So she struggles, but she pushes past you. And she immediately just drops to one knee and says, Lord Kreeg, I am so sorry to... And then she looks around and she sees that this individual, who she has called Lord Kreeg, she sees this strange shadow on the wall and she says, my lord, are you well? My dear, I'm sorry, I don't know you very well, but you bear the countenance of one of the Hell Riders, am I correct? Of course, my lord, of course. I am here to rescue you.
It's not him.
I turn back to Falaster and I say, close that door.
Falaster disrobes immediately, or at least his robe anyway, and shuts the door behind him.
I'm going to use my last usage of Divine Sense inside this vault. I'm spinning the dreidel directly at Kreeg.
Okay. 2 things register that come across as really deep, dark, evil. One is something within Thavius Kreeg for certain, that this thing that you see before you is and is not the man he purports to be. The other thing that registers like a noxious odor is this thing on the wall, this shield. It's clearly made out of a single piece of extremely well-crafted gold. It is filigreed with all kinds of sort of strange serpentine-like images. The edges of it are rounded, but come to sharp points at certain parts. It's also symmetrical, so that each side is the reflection of the other. But the most interesting thing is that in the inlay of this shield, you see a terrifying carved set of eyes and a fanged maw.
Okay. I've got my right hand extended with the dreidel levitating slightly above it and flashing, the fiend symbol flashing. I extend my left hand and point, without looking at it, towards that shield. And I say, that thing is evil.
In your mind, Renascence, you hear a voice. And it says, in a sort of almost sultry tone, it says,
Evil? Evil is such an old-fashioned term. I prefer to be called just. Who are you to judge me?
Renascence, who are you? Who am I speaking to? I'll say that out loud.
Okay, all of you hear Renascence speak into the air. Thavius looks back towards the wall and then back at you, Renascence, and says,
Oh, it's speaking to you now, is it? Interesting.
I say, there's something in here with us. Watch him.
Does Corbin detect magic? He's made his way pretty far into the room, and he's within range of that shield.
The shield is glowing with magic, Corbin.
Anything else? The chests?
The chests, if they were magical themselves, you don't detect them. If there's any material inside that's magical, you wouldn't be able to see it because detect magic doesn't go beyond an inch of metal material.
Okay. And nothing on Thavius Kreeg?
Thavius Kreeg himself is not glowing magically, as if perhaps imbued with some kind of magical essence.
Does detect magic tell me what kind of magic it is?
It does, yeah. The shield itself is glowing with, I'm going to go ahead and say it glows with conjuration magic.
Okay.
Who am I speaking with?
You say this out loud?
Yeah.
In your mind, you hear,
There are those who call me Gargoth, the Hidden Lord.
We're in the presence of something called Gargoth, the Hidden Lord. I believe that belongs to him. I keep my hand pointed at the shield. I say, Gargoth,
Yes?
have you made some sort of a deal with Thavius Kreeg?
Rather the opposite. I'm kind of embarrassed to say, but I'm stuck in this thing.
I see. I'll get back to you. I just sort of wave my finger at it.
I'll get back to you.
I say, there's a devil trapped in that shield, but there's also a devil right here. I close my fist over the dreidel and put it away, and then I point to Thavius Kreeg. He's made a deal. He sold himself.
Thavius looks at you, Renascence, when you say that and says, No, it's quite a large misunderstanding. The Van Thampers forced me into this situation, of course. Don't you understand? It's all Duke Thalamra's fault.
Go on.
Well, listen. First of all, Reya, your name was Reya, you said? She says, Yes, my lord. Please, stand. I don't want to be fawned over, honestly. Listen, as you may know, I am Thavius Kreeg, the High Overseer of Elturel, priest of Torm, god of courage, self-sacrifice. Why would I be in any way, shape, or form involved with these awful devil-worshipping people? It's all a ruse.
I'd like to roll an insight check.
Absolutely.
That's a 4.
Seems hard to get, but he might be telling the truth.
You're a follower of Torm?
Of course.
Tell me about... I'm sorry. I assume Renascence knows a little bit about Torm.
You could make a religion check to find out what he might know.
Corbin would like to know that too.
Sure.
That is a 12.
Okay.
Corbin rolled a 14.
Torm is indeed the god of self-sacrifice, courage, justice to some degree as well.
I heard quite a bit about Torm. He was sort of one of the main pillars at Ilmater's School for Friendless Boys. We were told to, eat your vegetables, grow up to be like Torm. Have you been hearing much from him lately?
Well, I'll be honest. I was a priest of Torm. Now it seems that for some reason, perhaps the loss of my city, my god has abandoned me.
Can I insight check that?
Absolutely.
Have you seen your shadow lately?
Yes, it seems to be some kind of awful trick from the Van Thampers.
You think that's a trick?
Sorry, I only got an 8 on the insight check, so I assume I don't really get
Again, unfortunately not, yeah.
What is it that they made you do?
Listen, The Duke's guards captured me after I arrived here in Baldur's Gate after the fall of my city. I was visiting a parish a few miles outside when it disappeared. Of course, you can imagine my horror. I came here to Baldur's Gate to enlist Thalamra in any way, shape, or form to help me find El Terrell. From what I understand, it's no longer here on the physical plane.
That's true enough. I turn to Falaster and I say, was this Mr. Kreeg's demeanor when he captured you?
Falaster takes off his mask, and when he does so, Thavius says, "Oh, shit," and then pulls out a dagger and stabs himself in the heart.
Oh, can we stop him?
You can certainly make a dexterity check to do so.
So Renaissance and Corbin are on either side of him. Can I assume that we both sort of lunge at him?
Go for it.
Okay.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
Corbin rolled an 8.
Don't worry. Renaissance got an 18.
Ooh.
Not bad. Holy shit, Reya. Okay, Renaissance, you got an 18?
Yes.
I knew there was a reason why Reya was rolling 12s all night.
It was gearing up for this.
She gets up and lunges at Thavius as he attempts to stab himself in the heart. Let's see how Thavius rolled here. I'm gonna make it with advantage since it's on himself. Nope, that's only a 16. Reya grabs him by the wrist and says, "My lord, what are you doing?" And his mouth opens wide, wider than any normal human mouth would open. It almost seems like his face is stretching, and he hisses at Reya, and he turns into a creature that looks like an awful green-skinned, oversized, grotesque, corpulent, I don't know, I'm using big words here.
Yeah,
Just a
like
big,
corpulent.
fat, green, evil thing with yellow eyes sticking out from folds of flesh in its head. You also see that stretching out from his back are these tiny little wing-like things. They're not really wings per se because there's no skin in between the fingers of the wings, but certainly this thing does not look like any human you've ever seen before.
He has backhands.
Satir clearly stays out of combat. She has no weapons. Falaster, you have given a short sword and a dagger. Yes. He will make the decision as to whether or not he actually wants to get involved on the second round. So it's just the 5 of you, including Reya, but you don't know how this is going to go with Reya, that's for certain. And now let's roll initiative.
Okay. Renaissance got a 12, thanks to Corbin.
Hylan got a 13.
Ofelia got a 7.
And Corbin got a 4.
All right, one sec. Okay, cool. Thavius Kreeg sort of looks down at his form and chuckles, goes, "Finally, it has come true." And like green ichor spills out of his mouth and lands on the floor. And he says, "Baldur's Gate will find itself in the 9 hells. A new home."
Hi, everybody. It's me, Painbearer Andy Cannistra. The show will be back in just a minute for the second half. As always, we're offering monthly free online adventures with our Dungeon Masters. These free games fill up quickly, so if you'd like to grab a spot, you should join our email list or our Discord server. Links to both can be found at cast-party.com. On Discord, you can also be part of our free bonus live audio show, Power Word Talk. And of course, our professional Dungeon Masters are available to hire for special occasions, parties, corporate team building events, or any time you need an adventure. We're now accepting bookings for both online and in-person games. Check us out at cast-party.com and follow us on Facebook at CastPartyDND, Twitter at CastParty2, and Instagram at cast_party. If you enjoy Podcast Party Descent into Avernus, please follow the show, rate us, leave us a review. We're doing this as a labor of love, and it really helps us a lot. We'd love to hear from you. Message us on social media or email us at info@cast-party.com. Thanks very much for listening, and now back to our adventure in Baldur's Gate.
Hylan, you're up first.
Okay, this thing in front of me, is that a bench or a chest? I'm just trying to see if I could stand on it.
Yeah, they are tables with small wooden coffers on them.
Okay, Hylan's totally disgusted by this, a little bit fascinated. And she's gonna manifest her blades, jump up, and throw them both at this creature, clearing Renaissance. No, that's an 8 to hit.
That will not hit.
Okay, and the second one is a 22 to hit.
That will definitely hit.
Okay, that's 7 psychic damage and 4 sneak attack damage for a total of 11.
Excellent.
And I'm going to stay where I am.
Renaissance, you're up.
Yeah, I whip my longsword out and I slash at him. Oh, fuck. Only an 8. Oh, no, I have advantage because I'm flanking with Corbin.
Yes.
So a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 will hit.
Okay.
Whew.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to dump a Divine Smite on him.
Solid.
Nice.
Okay, so 6 slashing, 5 radiant.
Excellent.
Renaissance's sword glows completely bright white and he cleaves towards the chest of the creature.
All right. Clearly making some really nasty wounds in the green flesh of what you could only assume to be some kind of fiendish incarnation of Thavius Kreeg.
And that's my turn.
Ofelia.
Okay, Ofelia will run around behind Renaissance, all the way around to the back of Thavius Kreeg. So she's standing next to Corbin and in front of Reya, and she will pull out her rapier and attempt to stab him. Am I flanking? Do I get combat advantage?
Yes, you are indeed flanking, so you get advantage.
Oh, well, that is a 22.
Yep, that'll hit.
4 piercing damage.
Like Renaissance's blade, yours does not sink into the gross flesh of this creature as much as you thought it would, but you definitely do some damage.
I assume that the radiant part of my attack did full damage.
Yes,
on
you
him.
see a scar, a burning scar where the radiant strike hit it.
Okay.
And then with my bonus action, I will, under my breath, whistle a little tune and give Corbin Bardic Inspiration. Let's get this guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. It is now Thavius's turn. He raises his, as you called them, back arms, and they sort of stretch out enormously large, and they pulse with this sort of black force. I would like Renaissance and Ofelia to make wisdom saving throws, please.
No.
15 for Renaissance.
15 for Ofelia as well.
Unfortunately, the DC was 16.
Oh, no.
Ouch.
You will take,
Oh,
as
no.
this black energy just sinks into you, you
No,
will
no.
each take 14 necrotic damage.
Oh.
Ow.
And
Thanks for those 10 temp HP.
Yeah.
Yep.
you are blinded until the end of Thavius's next turn.
Oh, no.
So you watch Renaissance drop to his knees and put his hands to his eyes, and this sort of milky white fluid expels out, and he screams in pain. Ofelia does the same.
Ah!
Oh, sorry.
He screamed. I felt like I
Yeah,
should scream.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You went with it. You went with it, and I applaud your efforts.
I
I'm
went
loving
with it.
Stop screaming. It's fine.
Okay, and after that is done as his action, Thavius Kreeg turns into this pinkish purple mist and disappears from your view.
Damn it.
Can we see the mist move?
No, you see it's almost like a bamf, like a Nightcrawler bamf, right?
Are we still in initiative?
As far as you know, yeah. You
Oh, yeah.
guys,
Okay.
you guys have lost your quarry though.
All right.
Reya stands up after Thavius has made his move, so to speak, and looks around and says, "What is going on? That could not have been him." Corbin, it is your turn.
Corbin is going to run to this or jump to the spot where the creature just was to see if it's still there,
You feel nothing.
which is only a few feet. And then he's going to go, Ilmata, burn it. And he's going to cast Word of Radiance. So every square within 5 feet of him gets hit, but not his friends.
Okay. That includes the space right next to the shield. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
He doesn't even think about the shield.
This burning light emanates from you, Corbin, and you don't hear any cries of pain from a creature that might have been in those spaces, but what you hear in your mind, Renaissance, is a scream of intense hurt from the creature.
Wait, Renascence hears it? Or
Renascence hears it. As soon as Corbin lets out this radiant burst, although you are blinded, you hear Gargoth scream in pain. Anything else, Corbin?
Yes, he's only moved 5 feet, so then he's going to spread out his big bugbear arms, and he's going to run to his left 5 more feet, 10 feet, and he's going to run north 10 feet, north 10 feet, and then east 10 feet. I think that's 5. Oh, he can go 1 more, and another 5 feet, and just see if he can find this thing. He thinks it's invisible.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to use his big arms to see if he can find it.
All right. He is not in any of the spaces that you have gone through, unfortunately.
He's gone. I don't know where he is.
Block the door, the door.
Falaster runs to the door and blocks the door with his body. Anything else, Corbin?
The door didn't open and close, did it?
No, it did not.
No, Corbin's done.
Okay. It is Reya's turn. Reya sheathes her sword and she calls out. She says, "My lord, clearly you are not well. You must come back to us. Come back to the light. We can help you." And she closes her eyes and begins to pray. And that is her action. Hylan, it's yours now.
All right. He's blocking the door. I can't teleport or anything. I'm just going to run over to Renascence and say, "Renascence, are you okay? What happened?"
I say, yeah, it's all right. I'll be all right. Is he still here?
No, he disappeared.
I say he could still be here. Watch it.
I'm going to ready an action for when I see this creature or another hostile creature that I could hit with my blades. I will do so.
All right. Renascence, it's your turn.
I stagger blindly over in the direction of where I know the door to be, just to try to stand next to Falaster, see if I can get in the way of anything.
Okay. Yeah, you sort of stumble right past Hylan. Hylan tries to sort of prop you up. Falaster stands there next to the door. He says, "My God, your eyes!"
So it's all right. Stand your ground. And for my action, I'm going to just try to block the door. I'm actually going to take the dodge action.
Okay.
And that's it. That's my turn.
At the end of your turn, Renascence, again in your mind, you hear the voice coming from this entity, Gargoth. And it says,
Take me. Use me. I can help you. Trust me, please.
I see you must think my head zips up the back.
That would be so cool.
I'd like to see that, actually.
That's my next character, by the way.
Head zips up the back, Johnson.
No.
Ophelia, your turn.
Ophelia is going to sort of stagger also back toward the door, positioning herself next to where Reya is standing and kind of grab her and steady herself against her. She will then cast Fairy Fire. It's going to be a 20-foot cube from where she is standing. No words come out, but these bursts of light start flicking out from the violin onto the wall in front of her, and it will cover the area with a glowing blue light, but it will get on the shield as well.
Okay, does it need to make some kind of a save?
14.
Okay, you cast Fairy Fire on this area, assuming that whatever is caught in your Fairy Fire, if it was indeed invisible within that space or was unable to resist your spell, would immediately glow blue. Unfortunately, I actually don't see it all, to be honest.
I don't see anything.
But your party sees, much to their dismay, that nothing glows blue in that area. Anything else, Ophelia?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. It is at that point that an individual who you've been searching for but did not unfortunately catch with your Fairy Fire materializes right next to you, Ophelia, only you're too blind to see him. The others, except for Renascence, do. Thavius Kreeg then opens his mouth, and you can see that it's just enormous. It's about 3 feet wide and just covered with tiny little sharp teeth. And he will attempt to bite Ophelia. That is a 21 to hit.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
That is 14 piercing damage.
Ow.
Make a Constitution saving throw, Ophelia.
That's an 18 con save.
Ooh, good roll.
Okay, the good news is that you're not swallowed by Thavius Kreeg.
Thank God.
Jesus.
Well, that's good. That sure is good, isn't it?
Yeah, Ofelia, this is not the end of Little Shop of Horrors. But yeah, Ofelia, they're a giant bite. You feel like this thing would have swallowed you if it got a better mouthful? Oof, sorry. Yeah, Reya sees that though, and she just says, no, this cannot be. And she, as a free action, attempts to wrestle you out of this thing's mouth, and you fall to the floor prone. But beyond that, take no damage. You just see his mouth is gorged with Ophelia's blood, unfortunately, but he stands there defiant. Corbin, it is now your turn.
We regain our sight as well now, right?
Yes, you do.
What a sight to awaken to.
Awful.
Oh my goodness.
All right, Corbin would like to step over Ofelia. He's going to run around the other side of this hideous creature, and Corbin's going to look at it and go, "Hey, creature, swallow me." And he's going to cast Sacred Flame on it.
Nice.
So that is a DC 14 dex save.
He got a natural 20.
Oh.
Son of a bitch.
And yeah, that's about it.
Thavius turns his eyes, or its eyes, on you, Corbin, and this enormous, funny that you called him Jabba the Hutt, Jabba-like tongue comes out and licks his little slobber chops.
With my bonus action, I'd like to put on my gold bikini. Thank you.
All right, anything else, Corbin?
That's it.
All right, Ray has had enough. She clearly thinks that this creature is evil and is not her mentor of old. And she will strike at Thavius with 2 shots from her longsword, screaming as she does so. The first attack is an 18, which hits.
Nice.
The second attack is a crit, 25. Both attacks doing some damage, but not as much as the magical damage that you've done so far. Thavius is not looking great, though. He looks kind of, in old edition parlance, you'd probably call him bloodied at this point. Hylan, you're up.
Okay. Hylan just saw this thing bite Ofelia very badly. And with sort of the same idea that things co-arise, you know, there's no darkness without light, this incredibly dark, evil thing is activating something in her and causing her to meet it with an equal portion of light. And wings come out of her back.
Oh, shit.
And her eyes glow blue, and her gray hair sort of blows out a little bit as the wings come out. And she gets the daggers in her hands, and she says, in a voice that is not quite her normal voice, it sounds like maybe there's another voice sort of with it, and she says, "You are trespassing. Go back to the hells where you belong." And that's her action.
All right, love it. Does that give you, from a mechanics perspective, anything new?
It does. I can add 4 radiant damage to any attack I make.
Oh, very cool. Love it. Renascence, it's your turn.
Renascence just sort of gasps at Hylan, and then he whispers Divina Favente, and he will run 2 fingers up the middle of his longsword, and a gold line appears on the sword as I cast Divine Favor. And then with the glowing gold sword, I will charge back into the vault away from the door and move into position to flank with Reya. And I swing the glowing sword at Thavius with advantage. Only a 13.
Not enough. Thavius sees the sword swing coming and reaches his webbed, gross, fleshy hands and just swats your sword away.
Okay, so yeah, that does end my turn. The sword is still glowing, however.
Cool. Ofelia, it's your turn.
Ofelia staggers to her feet.
Oof.
She musters all of her strength. She clutches her violin and she says, "That is quite enough." And her eyes roll back in her head and she begins to whisper again. She casts Dissonant Whispers and he needs to make a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw.
He got a 21. Oh my god.
Oh,
Well, he'll still take half of 17 psychic damage.
Oh, good.
Psychic damage is good damage.
Yeah.
That's 8 damage. He's looking pretty messed up from that one, Ofelia.
All right.
Gotta be honest, he's not looking like a happy camper anymore. He's not gurgling with glee.
Good. I don't like a gurgle.
Well, then you might not like what happens next.
I probably will not.
Yeah, we're in trouble, I think.
As a bonus action, she will cast Bardic Inspiration on Hylan.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Remember that, Hylan. You might need it.
And Corbin still has one too.
Yep.
This is running out of steam, but he has enough to do what he did before to Renascence and Ofelia, and he has no mercy for those who stand in his way. And so he will need Ofelia and Hylan to both, please, as his wings, or claw-like hands sprouting from his back, emit another black energy that seeps throughout the room. Please make wisdom saving throws, Hylan and Ofelia.
I got a 21.
Nice.
Ophelia got a 19.
Nice.
Okay, you both save, so you'll only take half of this damage.
Great.
Okay, you will take 11 necrotic damage.
I'm resistant to necrotic, so I'll take half of that.
Awesome, you only take 5.
Ophelia drops to the ground.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
She is knocked unconscious.
Damn it.
Okay. And then Thavius, as he did the last time, bamfs and turns invisible. Corbin, it is your turn.
Corbin tucks his shoulder into his shield and he barrels into the spot where
Okay.
Thavius just was, right next to Ofelia. And if there's nothing there, he drops to his knees and he dumps a healing potion down her throat.
Nice.
All right. There is nothing there, unfortunately.
Potion of healing, 9.
Ophelia, you waken.
Nice.
Come on, come back, you're all right. And that's his turn.
Okay. Reya's eyes trace the room, and she's going to use a perception check as a help action. So she pivots around the room and tries to trace where this creature has gone, either by looking at the floor, looking at the ceiling, if it had some kind of flight. Let's see, what did she roll in her perception? She has a +5 to perception. She rolled a 17.
All right.
And she, almost guided by a force beneficial to you all, points her sword at the corner of the room and stalks towards it
Excellent.
and says, "It's here. Kill it." Hylan, you're up.
Okay. I just direct my glowing blue eyes at Reya, nod, stare at the corner, and shoot both of my blades into the corner. Oh, that's a 10 to hit, the first one.
A 10 will not hit. Your blade passes into the wall and then dissipates.
Please hit. It's a 21.
A 21 is enough.
Okay.
So even though you didn't know where it was and you had disadvantage on the roll, you rolled a 21, and your blade flies across the room, misses Reya by a hair, and sinks into something that was not the wall. And you hear, how much damage did you do?
5 psychic damage and 4 radiant damage.
That's 9 damage?
Mm-hmm.
It had 9 hit points left.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Amazing.
It's like it was meant to be. What you see is not black ichor, as you've defeated fiends before. It is the body of an old man that you saw just moments before it turned into this awful creature from hell. And it slumps, clearly destroyed by your various attacks. And he puts his hand up towards Reya, who sort of stands over him, her sword drawn, pointing down into Thavius as if to deliver the final blow. And Reya says, I'm sorry. And she thrusts her sword through Thavius' throat. Thavius gurgles, and then his eyes roll back into his head.
I look up towards Hylan and I say, Melitiam, or Hylan.
When she looks at you with the blue eyes, you do feel like maybe it's not only her looking at you. And they fade, and the wings, which are dragon wings, not angel wings, fold back behind her and disappear. And then she looks at you and says, "It's me. It's me."
I take her hands and I look around the vault. There are powers of light and of darkness watching us. I will take off my cultist robe that I'm still wearing and I want to swaddle the shield in the robe without touching it directly with my flesh.
Okay.
Can't leave this here.
You know that's magic, right?
Yes, it's evil. We can't leave it.
How do you know it's evil?
It talks.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I know.
It talks to you in your head?
Yes. There's something trapped in the shield. I don't think it can hurt us. I reach into my pack and I show the puzzle box to Falaster. And I say, I think we've got to bring the shield and this to your sage and Candlekeep.
Falaster takes the puzzle box if you're offering it to him.
No, I'm not giving it to him.
His hands sort of move in towards the puzzle box.
I gently draw it back.
And then he says, I am sorry. I did not mean to, yes, it is beautiful. But as for my employer, I have a distinctly high opinion of her, and I think that she would greatly appreciate you bringing this to her. I can, of course, oblige.
First things first, we've got a duke to kill.
Right, she's got to go.
Reya is standing there, looking down at the body of Thavius, and says, the Duke did this. It was her fault. I want her dead.
I'm sorry, Reya. I know this isn't how you wanted it to turn out. There was nothing you could have done.
You did the right thing.
He made his choice.
I'm going to move to the door. Does the door have a lock that I can engage from this side?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to lock us in.
Okay, you have done so.
Hylan, are you all right?
Can I speak to you all away from the others? Meaning, Fisk
Sure.
and Lady Fancy Pants.
We'll go off to the corner. You two, stay over there.
Yeah, we follow her.
Falaster, seeing that you guys want some privacy, holds up his hands and says, by all means, I am sorry to intrude.
Nothing personal. Just for a moment.
And he sort of walks over to the door and puts his back to it.
I know that we're pressed for time and we have a lot more important things to do, but I feel like you've been pretty straightforward with me about your goals and your gods and the things that you can do. And I just quickly wanted to explain what's happening as far as I can understand, because this is all happening rather quickly. And I know that Renascence knows, but I've never told you, Ofelia and Corbin, that have you ever known any Celestials before, people with Celestial blood?
No.
I know one.
Oh, okay. Did they ever talk to you about visions that they had or voices they could hear?
No, we're not friendly like that. No. She's kind of scary, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe sometime we could talk about that. I have an angel that sometimes speaks to me, often shows me pictures or visions, helps me. Their name is Melitiam. They're a part of me. And when I was little, they showed me how to make light, taught me who the good people were and how to protect people that needed protecting. And then I came to understand as I got older that this angel was in service to a god, Bahamut. Do you know who Bahamut is?
Yeah, it's like a god of all the good dragons.
Yes.
Right.
Like a guardian god.
My favorite name for him is the grandfather of dragons. He values justice tempered with mercy. And he actually, it comes to my mind now, once served Torm like this unfortunate man over here, and I gesture to Thavius Kreeg. I can see why maybe this enraged him. I'm sorry that he had to die. I also want to tell you that Bahamut is also the brother of Tiamat. He will do everything in his power to stop any of her evil acts or any of the fallout from them, so that's why I was maybe a little intense about those dragon cultists, as I know you all were too. Thank you. Stories say that he would polymorph his enemies rather than kill them sometimes, and that paladins and clerics would go to Celestia to see him, and I wonder, I've never heard any stories of thieves going and being admitted, but I try to do the best I can. It has to be about your intention. I mean, surgeons use the same tools as murderers, right?
Of course.
Hylan, I knew you was close to the gods from the first day I saw you come into that soup kitchen. And I told you I'd always look out for you, because I knew the gods had a plan for you. I think what we just saw was the next part of that plan. I think it means you're on the right path.
It said that when he found someone worthy, instead of directly intervening, he preferred to sort of help them by giving them information or prophecies or healing or
wings.
Yes.
Yeah, those wings seem pretty direct to me.
He would give them his magic to help them be his champion. And I never expected that to happen. I'm glad that it helped us. But I just wanted you to know what my intentions are, and I didn't want you to be concerned or worried about these things that are happening to me. They're disturbing sometimes, but I know what the source is, and it's good, and it's to help us. So don't be afraid of me, okay?
I trust you, Hylan.
I think you've proved yourself. I mean, honestly, I didn't trust you at first. You probably sensed it. I don't hide these things well, but that's not the case anymore.
Thank you, Corbin. Okay, I know we have important things to deal with. I just wanted to say that.
It don't get much more important than that.
Nope. And if the church takes bugbears, I'm sure they'll take, a thief too. I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, and if they take devils like me, I don't think they're going to turn you away.
Thanks for listening. This podcast featured the Dungeon Master stylings and almost every voice you hear on the podcast, Matt Gordon, with Tal Aviezer as everyone's favorite tiefling paladin named Renascence, Carolyn Fox as our resident killing machine Hylan, Rachel Tamarin as the dissonant whisperer herself, Ofelia Liadon, and me, Andy Cannistra, as Painbearer Corbin Shiv. All right. This episode was edited by Carolyn Fox and Tal Aviezer. Our original theme music is by Lauren Anker and Anthony DiMasso. Some sound effects in this episode are courtesy of Syrinscape. Remember, if you enjoy Podcast Party Descent into Avernus, please follow the show, rate us, and leave us a review. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the next episode.
Oof. Man, oh man.
Something tried to swallow Ofelia in the first swallowing of the campaign.
Oh my God. Yeah, it did.
That was awful.
Yeah. Andy, thank you for those 10 temp HP.
Yes.
That would have been I would have been down so much sooner if it wasn't for
that was pretty
yeah.
clutch.
That was great.
It's so weird because I haven't gotten wounded in 2 episodes now. It's like, what's going on?
It's the karma from getting so badly wounded.
Because you died.
You were.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.